Hey everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I would like to read this October. So this is the first video I'm filming in the new house, in the new office. I am so pleased with it. I got my bookshelves all set up, which was exhausting. It took forever, but I will have a video going up soon about like setting up my library and everything, because it's pretty much a library. Like, I have 4 shelves behind me, of which you can obviously only see 3, and then I have 3 shelves on the other side. So I have like a lot more room for books than I have ever had before, and it is glorious. So it's not fully complete yet because I would like to get, they sell like shelf extensions for these shelves, so I'd like to pick up those so then it will just look like a full wall of built-ins, and I think that will look awesome, but they're sold out right now, which is why I have not picked those up yet. But I hope you guys like the new space and the new background and everything. It probably looks exactly the same because it always does. I do my rainbow bookshelves everywhere, but I'm going to kind of like play around with it and see if I can find some better angles to film at. But yeah, I'm so happy to finally have like all of my books out again, because I had wanted to do like a fall TBR and October TBR, but I knew that a lot of my books were still packed at the apartment because I didn't have my brown or like all of my black books unpacked, and I knew that a lot of the books that I was going to want to read during the fall and October specifically were going to still be packed. So I decided to wait, but now it is time. I have picked out about 10-ish books that I really would like to get to this month. I'm trying to get back into reading because with everything going on, it just kind of fell on the back burner a little bit, but I want to get back into the good habits that I had formed at the beginning of the year. So I should be able to get to quite a few of these. I've been really rushed trying to prepare for Thanksgiving this weekend. My entire family is visiting, like even my sisters are visiting. My one sister, I haven't seen her in almost 2 years because of the pandemic. So it's really exciting. Everyone is going to come and see the house, and then I'm actually going to be going back and visiting with my sister and my family. So I am going to have kind of a busy October, but not quite as busy as the past few months have been. So I really want to try and prioritize reading and get to a lot of these books because I save them for this time of year. So I need to get to them. Anyways, that was kind of a long intro to just kind of update you guys on what's going on, but let's just get into the books that I'd like to read this month. So the first one is the book that I'm actually currently reading, and that is 13 Doorways, Wolves Behind Them All by Laura Ruby. Laura Ruby is the author of Bone Gap, which I haven't gotten the chance to read yet, but that's a magical realism. This is a historical fiction, and I am almost 100 pages into it, and I have kind of restarted it 3 times now because just with how distracted I've been, I wasn't really getting into it, and I was very confused by the story and where it was going and who I was reading about. So I decided to restart it a couple of times, and I restarted it again yesterday, and I'm still just not quite sure. So I might end up DNFing this one. I'm not entirely sure. I just find that I'm very confused about the characters because I know that 2 of the characters are in like the 1940s and they are sisters, and they're at this orphanage because their father ended up meeting someone and just didn't really want them anymore. And then there's also a character that like you don't really know a lot about, and you don't know her name, but she is a ghost who's kind of witnessing everything, but she only pops in every now and again. So like, I don't know if I'm just dumb, but I am just kind of finding the storytelling a little bit confusing. So I am going to continue with it, and I feel like maybe if around the 150 page mark I still feel really confused, then I will give up on it, which would be really unfortunate because I was really excited for this one, but we'll see. So I just wanted to take a second to thank the sponsor for today's video, Fabulous. Fabulous is a self-care app, and it really helps you to build good habits. I've been working on that since the beginning of the year, and I've talked about it quite a bit actually, and I love the fact that Fabulous makes it easy. With Fabulous, you can build the habits that you want to and focus on a daily routine that is going to make you be the best person possible, which is something that I'm always trying to strive toward. The Fabulous app has helped me with my physical health and creating better habits and routines in that area of my life, but also with self-improvement and mental health in general, as well as mindfulness, which is definitely something I've always struggled with because my mind is always all over the place. And with just my own development in general. Like, I just feel like I'm doing something good for myself when I'm using the app. There are actually two options for you to use the app and to build better habits. So there's the coaching option, which they'll help you out with getting started and knowing how to implement the habits that you want to implement into your life. And then there's the self-guided option, which is where you kind of know where to start, but it helps you to track things and build them and just keep things organized, really. I personally use the self-guided method, but I would definitely like to try the coaching in the future because I think it seems really awesome to have someone walk me through and basically help me do exactly what I want to do. Within the app, you can set up your daily routine, which is kind of how you will keep track of the habits that you want to do. You can take part in journeys, which are programs that will help you to achieve your goals. And like I said, coaching is really going to help with the motivation, but there is also a community there, and you can join different challenges every week that really helps to keep you accountable and motivated. The app is actually also based on behavioral science, so there is science backing everything in the app, and you can tell because it does actually work and help out so much. So I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. So if you are interested in building your own ideal daily routine, which I mean, just sounds like the dream for everyone, honestly, but Fabulous has been kind enough to offer the first 100 people who click the link in my description box down below 25% off a subscription. I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. It is an awesome app, and I just really have been loving my time using it. And thank you once again so much to Fabulous for sponsoring today's video and supporting my channel. The next book is the Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the sequel to the Inheritance games, which came out last year, and like everyone was talking about it, and I think I was just sent a copy of it by the publisher, and I decided to pick it up because so many people were talking about it, and I'm really glad that I did because I liked it a lot. So it's a mysterious storyline where this girl, she has come from poverty, and this billionaire ends up dying, and he leaves her his entire fortune instead of his family members. So the catch is that she has to live on his estate with his like snubbed family members, and obviously there are so many questions about like why he left it to her because she doesn't know him at all. So we got some answers in the last book, but I would like to get some more answers because I also have a lot of questions. So I think this is going to be a really great read, and definitely one that I would like to try and get to this month. It's pretty perfect because of the mystery element, but it's one that I'm going to be reading either way. Next is Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. This book came out last year, and I had pre-ordered it, and I was hoping to get to it last October, but it just didn't end up happening. So I think this October, I really want to try and knock it off of my TBR. So this is about a girl who she ends up being the first soul guide in known memory. Her best friend dies, and she ends up bringing her back to life. So then she is summoned by the Spider King, and it's in this forest, like this, I think it's called the Deadwoods or something like that. But everything about this is giving me kind of like creepy fall Halloween vibes. So I think this will be a really great fantasy to get to in the month of October. We've got spiders, we have creepy woods, we have necromancy, we've got a little bit of everything. Next is the Witchhaven by Sasha Payton Smith. So this was actually sent to me by the publisher unsolicited, and I was like, witches? That sounds perfect. And then it also is blurbed by Casey McQuiston, which made me even more interested in it because they are the author of Red, White, and Royal Blue. And I did really love that book. I still need to read their other book, but I will get to that one eventually. However, Witches, I felt like it was a great read for October. I'm just gonna look at the synopsis so that I don't mess it up, but it says, well-behaved witches seldom make history, and it is set in 1911 in New York City. I love everything about that, and it follows a seamstress. She's mourning the mysterious death of her brother, and then she ends up being attacked, and a man ends up dead at her feet. Her sister scissors in his neck and she can't explain how they got there. So 2 nurses arrive to inform her that she's deathly ill, but she actually is like taken to the sanitarium, but it's not actually a sanitarium. It is a school for witches. So witch school, like I'm even more excited after reading this, honestly. Like that synopsis sounds right up my alley and I definitely need to check this one out. Next is Horrid by Katrina Leno. I got this book around this time last year, but it was like right after Halloween and I was really sad because I felt like it would be perfect. So now the time has finally come to read this. It is by the author of Summer of Salt, which I read, I believe it was last year now, and I really liked that one. So I am eager to read some more by her. In this case, there's this house. This girl has moved into a new house. She's trying to get settled, but she's kind of having a hard time. And there's this mysterious storage room that there's just some weird things going on there. So this is definitely the kind of book that I don't really like to know a lot going into it, but it does seem definitely intriguing and perfect for around Halloween. By the way, I should have mentioned this before, but like this is really the only time of year that I'll read kind of like mysteries or thrillers. And for me, they're very like soft mysteries and thrillers because I am super easily scared, so I don't like reading really creepy things. So this is kind of like as creepy as I'll get. Next is Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. This is by the author of House of Salt and Sorrows, which I read last year and I really liked that one. It surprised me by how much I liked it. So it was a horror retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, and this one is supposedly a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. This also has to do with bees, which is really interesting. Like the family are beekeepers, and it's a town where just some mysterious things have started to happen, and the character is trying to piece together exactly what is going on. So knowing that I enjoyed Erin A. Craig's first book so much, I really just wanted this one immediately, and I'm so excited to have it. I feel like I will really like it if it is anything like the 12 Dancing Princesses retelling that she wrote. Next is The Ravens by Danielle Page and Cass Morgan. So I've read Danielle Page before. I haven't read anything by Cass Morgan. I know she's the author of the 100 series, but I haven't like watched the show or anything either. But Danielle Page is the author of Dorothy Must Die, among other books, but Dorothy Must Die is the only book of hers that I believe I've read, and I did really like it. Like I enjoyed the first book a lot, and then I didn't really like the rest of the series as much, but she's a super talented author, and this sounds like a really cool book. So it is this sorority, but the sorority is actually witches. So the main character, she's a legacy in the sorority, and she finds out that it's actually witches. So it's really interesting. I love that concept, like sorority being witches. It just makes sense to me, and I feel like it could be a very cool story, which is why I definitely want to read it. Next is Firekeepers Daughter by Angeline Booley. I have been so excited to read this book, but I just haven't found the right time, unfortunately. But this is a murder mystery sort of story, and it follows the main character who ends up working with the FBI to try and find out like what's happening with these murders. And there's this new drug, and she's using her knowledge of Ojibwe medicine to help them like figure out stuff about this drug. It seems really cool. It's going to deal with the main character's Ojibwe culture a lot, which I think is amazing, and I just love the concept for it. It seems very unique, and I definitely would like to know more. Next, I have 2 books by the same author, and that is Kat Winters. So I have The Cure for Dreaming and The Steep and Thorny Way. This one I believe is a Hamlet retelling. I think it's Hamlet. I know it's some sort of Shakespeare retelling. Pretty sure it's Hamlet, but this one isn't a retelling of anything. I have read 2 of Kat Winters' books before. One I really enjoyed. The other one I ended up actually DNFing, so I'm hoping I'll have better luck with these because she writes very different books. They're all set like in the 1910s, around World War I, and they have to do with different topics, and they're very unique topics. The one that I really liked had to do with the Spanish influenza, and there were like ghosts and pictures, and like she writes basically creepy stories set in the 1910s. So this one is a murder mystery, and then this one deals with like psychics and hypnosis and stuff. So very cool concepts, and I almost unhauled these, but then I really wanted to give them a chance because I did enjoy her first book, In the Shadow of Blackbird, so much. So I hope I will have better luck with these. And the final book on my October TBR is Witches Steeped in Gold by Sienna Smart. This book I have seen around quite a bit, and I am very eager to see what it's all about. I believe it is based on the author's Nigerian heritage, which is really cool. And it follows two characters who are sworn enemies who end up having to come together and work together, and I assume that they are witches as well. So super, super excited for this one, and definitely would like to get to it this month. Okay, so those are all the books that I'm hoping to read in the month of October. I hope that I can make a decent dent in this list, but please do let me know if you have read any of these books, your thoughts on them, so then I can know which ones I should prioritize. And also, if you like bookish videos, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Also click that notification bell so then you won't miss any time I post new videos. I post new videos 3 times a week, and I am getting back to that schedule now. I'm doing a bunch of pre-filming today to make sure that I will have videos going up even while I'm away. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in a new video soon. Bye!